Take food scraps from the kitchen, turn them into fertilizer for future food.
Okay, it is spring almost, Rachel Wulff, if we can believe it. The calendar does say March 4th, and you are now joining us with some ladies who are doing very good hands-on work with the creepy crawlies. Good morning.
Oh, yeah, I'm learning all kinds of things, and I'm a gardener, things that I didn't even know. Susan and Colette joining me right now talking about a worm workshop you guys have coming up on March 23rd, and we're going to learn everything we need to know about dirt, worms, and what the byproduct is, which is really good stuff, black gold for your garden, right?
Exactly. It's worm compost, and this is what it ends up after about 6 months in your worm bin. And we feed our worms our kitchen scraps, just our peelings and our apple cores and our asparagus parts that we don't eat. And so
you just throw it in a composter and some worms. Let's see some of the worms. Now this is what it looks like at the end, but let's see, and there's a couple little worms in there. You were telling me about the worm eggs. We're going to get to that in a minute. Worms are in here. What kind of worms?
red wigglers. Red wigglers, and they're much different than earthworms. These are worms that live on top of the soil. They're garbage eaters, whereas earthworms are more vertical worms. They're going up and down. These are more horizontal worms. Let's see if we can find any more. They're very shy, and we had a whole bunch of them showing themselves, but then they all hid.
They don't like light.
They don't like light, and they're kind of shy being on TV, too.
Well, that's true. That's true. And you told me something, Colette, I thought that was kind of funny. You said they're kind of like people, and they don't like extreme temperatures?
Extreme temperatures, light, and too much water.
Yeah.
But they don't like being dried out either. They need to have moisture to keep their bodies alive because they're got a little slime coat that they wear.
And really quickly, I asked this question, if you cut a worm in half, the worm is not going to live.
That is correct.
Yeah.
That is the big fallacy of worms.
Yes. Yes. Well, that's good to know. All right. So why should you care? Why should you go to this worm workshop, which would be fantastic for kids, by the way?
It's if you want to start developing a worm compost bin. This is much easier if you don't have a lot of room, a lot of space. If you're just new to it, if you want to have kids, have your kids get interested, do a worm bin is real fun to get yourself started in compost.
Very good. Susan and Colette, thanks for joining us. We'll have some more tricks of the trade coming up in the 9 o'clock hour, including where you can get worms and how you can be more successful with your composting. Again, this is like black gold when you have a garden, and those tomatoes are amazing. It has a lot to do with the soil, and so it starts right here. So these ladies, they know what they're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a win-win because you're using your kitchen scraps that you would have thrown away anyway to feed the worms. So it's a big circle. All right. Thanks, Rachel.